Welcome to Weekly Spanish Review. This is for Mr. Jones's Spanish 1 class. This week I want to go through everything we've done so far this year, hit on a little bit of each topic, and if you don't remember a few things that we talked about in this video, you can go back in Google Classroom and look, because we always have past vocabulary, past exercises, everything we've done is going to be on Google Classroom. So take a look through this video, and if you don't understand a few topics, you can go back and study those specifically. But the first thing we started with here was with greetings. As you can see here on the left-hand side, this is what we did in the preliminary unit. I want you to be able to express yourself in Spanish using words like buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, gracias. From there, we went on to counting. We want to know those numbers, 1 a 10, and then count by tens from 10 a 100. Days of the week, I won't go through all of them, but remember, lunes, martes, miércoles, study those. Months of the year, enero, febrero, marzo. And then finally in that preliminary unit, seasons and weather. Questions like ¿qué tiempo hace? Phrases like hace buen tiempo, hace mal tiempo, hace sol. You need to be able to describe yourself using ser. Like we learned in chapter 1, we need to learn how to use phrases like yo soy un alumno in CHS. Yo soy alto, yo soy inteligente, yo soy americano. And also to remember our conjugations for ser, like tú eres, you are, él, ella, usted es. And then use nosotros somos, like we are, nosotros somos alumnos. Nosotros somos graciosos. And then ellos, ustedes son. Alright, so moving on, we're going to go pretty quickly through these in this video, but chapter 2, we learned vocabulary about family and pets. We learned about houses and apartments, so we will learn words like primo, prima, hermano, tío, abuelo, mascota, and words related to family. Talking about the house, we will learn words like la casa, los cuartos, la cocina, el jardín, el edificio, los muebles, la silla, la cama, el carro, la bicicleta. And then using that vocabulary about family and houses, we used it with tener, like yo tengo una familia grande. Tú tienes una casa. Tú tienes muchos hermanos. We know that tener means to have, so we can use it in a number of ways with this new vocabulary. Like nosotros tenemos una casa en la ciudad. So a recap of the preliminary lessons, chapter 1 and chapter 2. In this one we learned a lot of our greetings, our phrases. Chapter 1 was about ser, so we got to know ser, and then chapter 2 was tener. Those are our main points. Now let's move on to chapter 3 where we're at right now. The main point of chapter 3 is what we're going to learn AR verbs. Learning how to conjugate verbs in Spanish is really important. That's going to be the most important thing we do in Spanish 1. As you saw this week and the past few weeks, we've been learning those verbs that end in AR. Some examples we've seen: hablar, estudiar, escuchar, mirar, contestar. We've conjugated them, which means we take off the endings, we take off the AR, and we replace them. And you've seen that with yo hablo, tú hablas, él, ella, usted habla, nosotros hablamos, ellos, ustedes hablan. What you just heard was the verb to speak, hablar. So if you want to say, I speak Spanish, yo hablo español. You speak Spanish, tú hablas español. A few more examples. Escuchar means to listen or to hear. So if you want to say, we listen to music, nosotros escuchamos música. Contestar, to answer. He answers the question. Él contesta la pregunta. So that was the grammar that we're doing in chapter 3. You can see it here in the bottom. The topics, the vocab that we're learning is in the classroom. We're going to learn words like la escuela, la sala de clase, el escritorio, el libro, un bolígrafo. La música, la computadora, regresar, una tienda, trabajar. All right, the last part of the video, I want to remind you about some of the things we've learned about Latin American countries. We've learned the geography, what the countries are in Central and South America, their capitals, and the population numbers as well. We've also learned that in the United States there are more than 50 million Spanish speakers. Really enjoyed the first 16 weeks of school. I hope you enjoyed Spanish 1 as well. Wishing you a great break and see you in January.